So, in the UK, obviously, we don't really get proper winters, but we get cold snaps, and we're in one now. And I would just like to recommend, especially with the thermostatic central heating we have in the UK, addition of a wood burner, and I could recommend the best kind of kindling wood, which is free, as there's quite a lot of people are upping the price of wood to a ridiculous level, making it almost as stupidly expensive as gas and stuff. This is old roof slatting, which you can see has got nails in it. It's free to collect. If you ask the roofing installer, they'll be grateful that you can empty their skip somewhat. And the easiest way to... That wasn't supposed to happen. Oh, bollocks, take two. Normally it breaks at this point here. I can't do a take two because I'm too cold. And then when it gets to that point, too short, the leverage is too short for you to be able to do that easily. So you move the cup ever so slightly, because you've got the other hand on the camera obviously at all times. That just removes that with the hammer, and then you get inside quickly and start the fire. By the way, the best oh god, I'm sounding like a right old stinge, but I'm a thrifty person. Waste not, want not, etc, bish bash. Oh, it gets cold. The best, I'll just imagine that you saw me doing 3 or 4 of those. The best, fucking hell, I haven't woken up, it is 5 in the morning. The best, you should do this beforehand, but I've been away, I always have it. I've actually got quite good at it. I mean, quite good at it. I've been quite good, as they say. My girlfriend says, I've been good. I've done the washing up the night before. No, I shouldn't say that. That's the thing some people say. I've been good. Look, oh god, I've forgotten. Oh shit, it's cold. So just imagine you saw me do a load of things with 2 hands, etc. Obviously, and a cameraman paid. So the best. This is a mess. Disgusting. The best. The best. What's it? Firelighters. You can either buy the cheap Jacks ones, which are quite good. When I say Jacks, that's a UK, that's Tesco's cheap brand line that actually are sold in Happy Shopper. Actually, doesn't matter. They're called Jacks, JACK apostrophe S firelighter, quite cheap. Or you can use the other method, or my recommended method, which is you get you go to a chip shop or any kind of fast food restaurant, or where did I go the other day? A pub, and there's always a couple of 20-litre vegetable or used vegetable things out the back. You ask them if they want them. They say somebody's picking them up. You say, I'll give you a 5 for 20 litres. They say okay, and that will last you for a season. What you do is you pour the veg oil. I'll show you. You keep it in an old cocktail shaker, which is quite hard to lift off. A dispenser, and then you take an old book that you've read and nobody wants to buy. That's sacrilege, I know, but actually this is you should clear out the ash beforehand, but I didn't. I did it a bit last night, and then you pour the veg oil into what I have as a depression in the ash. And then I can't get the habit of filming properly. And then you just soak it, the water, paper, and the thingy bob. I'll just show you the demonstration of the paper itself. I've got slippery hand syndrome because obviously I've got a little bit of veg oil in my hands. It's actually a little bit reluctant to light, which is one of the reasons why it's a safe fuel. Actually, the diesel runs on veg oil. It was designed to run on veg oil. There's a little aside actually. Anyway, it acts as a wick. You end up it actually draws up. And it's gone out. No. I don't do that. Hang on a second. Okay, genuinely, I just left it a couple of seconds because I didn't have the time for it to. It just takes time to heat the bloody oil up, and then it starts doing that. And it does that for a little while with my kindling. And there your Robert Robert is your father's brother. And just assume that all goes up. You got the kindling, and then bits of all your packaging, all your cardboard. Don't put that out there for recyclers. Keep it, and rip it up, and then you scrumple it up. Cardboard, all sorts of other things. Always keep your packaging as long as it's not toxic to burn. And no, this chap Diesel, I just read about him actually. I was watching telly last night actually. After everyone's gone to sleep, that's when they put the stuff on that's actually interesting. 1:30 on a weekday. There was a program on Mr. Diesel, and apparently he was a very utopian thinker. Utopian thinker in that he designed the engine to run on something that everyone had in their cupboard, which was vegetable oil. And of course some people have revived that and sort of still do it until they invented the common rail diesel, which has to run on a thing called biodiesel, whereas I had a non-common rail diesel, which was a Volkswagen Type 3, which is not a 2.5 or a 25, it's just the next generation after the Type 2. No, I'm confused, because the Type 1 was the Beetle, the Type 2 was the van. Anyway, it was the boxy one after the there was a bay window, then there was the one with the without the V on the nose. Oh, I'm a sacrilege, I can't remember. Anyway, they were old-fashioned diesels. So basically a Golf. It was a Mark. It was the first iteration of the Golf diesel engine, which is what they put in the VW surfing vans, which became more boxy. Transporter they called them. Anyway, I had one of them. You could just bung it in, and she ran on it beautifully. You got the feeling that as the oil, unburnt oil was actually lubricating the pistons at the same time. You got that feeling, because she sort of swooshed along much more. What's the word? Willingly, I think they used to say in the motor and auto car magazine car reviews. A very willing motor. Well, she was a turbo, 1600 anyway. She was a lovely, but I actually like driving this car. It's much easier. It swishes along slightly more effortlessly. Slightly more, obviously, because it's more aerodynamic. That's the only thing. It slips through the air better, and to me, it's more efficient. So I can't really justify pushing a great big brick through the air every time I wanted to go anywhere when I had a T3. But this is strange. Oh yeah, and the diesel was all, and the corporations got hold of the. This is how I read it anyway. That called it, and he said that he did mention it a little bit in the television documentary. There's a mystery. I'm going to have to look into it. What happened to Mr. Diesel? Because he became very disillusioned, and they started using the diesel for war methods, submarines, and I don't know. They got hold of it, and then they wanted to control the fuel supply. In fact, it was never commercialised for smaller engines. It was only really used for trucks and stuff and trains, until a gentleman called Mr. Ricardo, came along and invented a technique for atomizing the fuel more efficiently before it went into the combustion chamber, which made it run cleaner. I think it was a more efficient burn, less smuts and smog coming out possibly. So I don't know. Anyway, Diesel went bankrupt. He was a proper success boy, and mates with Edison, I think, possibly. Anyway, so it's all a bit of a mystery what happened there. I've got to look into that. And then I parked in Tesco. I went to Tesco's, did my Tesco shop, and thought, right, I'm parked. I'm justified parking there. I went off to do some other stuff. I went 11, 12, 1, 2. I was 4 hours doing other stuff. And apparently they're not allowed to do that, and they charge you 70 quid, but out of the kindness of their hearts, they're only going to charge me 40 quid. And I've just bought some tickets to a gig and went the wrong day. 2 tickets, 40 quid, and that is really pissing me off. And I'm supposed to think, it's only 40 quid. Horizon parking. I've got a good mind not to pay this. But, also I think Tesco's are very big, so I think I pay it and never ever park there again. I'm just going to park off-grid and on the side of rivers and stuff. Anyway, still going, my firelighter, you can hear it. See, that's quite a long time for one firelighter doused in, one bit of paper doused in a... So there's my tip, that's virtually free firelighters, virtually free kindling wood, and your wood you can collect from the winds we've had recently. And Robert is your father's brother, so you're keeping warm. At the moment, my thermometer says 15, but I've got a fan heater on, so that's gone up from 12 when I woke up. And by the time I put the wood burner on, I get up to 19 easy. But by the way, wood burners are easy to make. You just merely get a grinder and cut off these gas cylinders into half, cut off an aperture, and then use the aperture offcut, weld on some over flanges. It's not the normal way to do it, but I do it. And then you make a nice little handle like that. You cut a slot in the side, put a bolt through there, and that will open and close your air supply. Two-position door where you've got one where it's slightly open and one where it's properly shut. Slightly open is the equivalent. That's the starter one. Then the plate on the top with a little extension for putting things like, once it's going, you can put a coffee on there to warm up without it getting absolutely scorchy. We flew outside to make sure it's all sealed to sealant, and cover everything else with plasterboard, which is fireproof, fire retardant. And that's my advice, and that's not a short, is it? I'm supposed to be told. Anyway, could you like and subscribe if you do? Otherwise, have a lovely day and keep warm. Bye now.